Hello, everyone. This is Saul Maraney from Johannesburg, South Africa. And today I'm very excited to be speaking to Chris Cole and Mark Salmon, and I'm interviewing them about their wonderful new product called the Hangout Cash Code. The Hangout Cash Code is a product that will teach you how to use Google Hangouts and how to start exploring this side of the internet. It's very exciting to be able to get engaged with Google Hangouts. It's a technology that has been out for a relatively short period of time and is very, very exciting at the moment. And guys, thank you so much for talking to me, and I really appreciate the time that you're taking out to do this.
It's our pleasure, Saul. And
Great. So guys, thanks. I know that that there's a lot of people out there with internet marketing, and there's a whole lot of different things on the internet in order to make money. There's a lot of different avenues, and I'd like to start off by asking you, maybe we can start off with you, Mark. How did you become involved with internet marketing, and why did you choose to go down this path?
That's a long story, but I'll try and cut it very short. I left my job, which was originally corporate banking, in 2001, and when I left, Saul, I actually struggled to set up my my email and Outlook, as I was that raw, and so I'd always wanted to sort of set my own website up, but it seemed beyond me, to be honest. And I actually bought, I then went into consulting, and I bought a manufacturing company about 5 years after I started consulting, out of liquidation. And I hired consultants to actually set because I wanted to generate leads online. I hired consultants to set up the website and do AdWords campaigns for me and so on. And we actually generated about £500,000 worth of sales within a few months, which was absolutely essential because I was taking this company from zero. And so I was so impressed with that I sold the company about 12 months after buying it, as a matter of luck, and I had a nice wad of cash after that. And I invested some of it in a franchising, a bookkeeping franchise, but decided that wasn't for me. And I then came across a network marketing opportunity. Somebody persuaded me to invest in this, and quickly decided network marketing wasn't for me either. But what interested me was I started to look at how I could generate leads for that opportunity. And I can actually date it to the 9th of April 2009, when I bought a training course which was specifically aimed at network marketers. And it was teaching you all the generic stuff that you need to know about internet marketing. And I quickly dumped the network marketing opportunity in favor of actually starting to consult with offline businesses on how they could get themselves online. And so that was how I started in internet marketing.
Right. And yourself, Chris?
I'm slightly similar to Mark in some ways. Basically, it was an external business that drew me online. I had a previous business of mine was a food-based takeaway restaurant, and I initially got involved because I was the one that looked out to building the website for this business. I basically wanted to get our menu online as well, and I did build the website and obviously made a lot of mistakes as I did do that. But this basically, got me researching WordPress, which then expanded out to. I started to notice opportunities of making money online. That plus, it interested me basically as to how I could, help the business as such as it was then, basically grow and to try and make money. Now, the business itself, in the end, as such, it did go under, but my passion for sort of working online didn't. In the end, by that time, the fire had been lit, and I was basically looking into different avenues of making money online and also helping other businesses and people around me make money online, and that's one of the things that I enjoy doing, is basically showing, if I felt that I could help one person to make money online, or a business, any business who were struggling, if my sort of knowledge and help could help them, then I would get a lot of satisfaction from that.
So you started, Chris, it's very interesting. So you started off online and you started to get excited and see the opportunities. And in your opinion, I hear statistics that so many people just simply don't make it. Why do you think that a lot of people maybe lose focus, or they tried too many things? What do you think has been the difference between you and you've stuck at it, and someone that starts and gives up so quickly?
Well, the reason, obviously, as I said, is I do enjoy helping people. I also enjoy teaching. I like to teach, so I've gathered a lot of knowledge when I've been working online. And what, as you're saying about people, not making it, a lot of people, they come online and they think that it's going to be easy. They think things are going to be easy. It's only put a website up and I could make money. But after a while, they actually start to realize it's not just as easy as that. There's real work that has to be done. You have to put effort in. It's just like any other job or business. You have to put the hours in. Another thing that people maybe find is they'll get overwhelmed because it's a lot of new technology. There's a lot of new information that they need to learn. There's so many different avenues, and they simply just get overwhelmed and give up as well. Whereas the people that stick through are the people that do want to provide value, or that they persevere. That basically they have the sheer, determined attitude that I will make this successful, and I will make a success online.
Yeah, I think us marketers are partly at fault for this, Saul, because we sell our products as the ultimate solution often. And you buy all these little reports and so on, and I think and then once they get onto a marketer's list, you keep getting hammered with more and more offers, and you keep buying little bits of information. We call them bright, shiny objects, and you start to become overwhelmed with all the different strategies you could adopt. All the different sort of software you could buy, and in the end, often when you start out, you seem to be in perpetual training mode and never actually implementing anything. I'm talking about myself now, really, but I think that's a common trait amongst our community. And as Chris said, you're starting out on a journey when you get into internet marketing. And we've often said that at the outset we'd wished we'd actually invested in a coach. I have to say, you have to be careful about who you invest in. There are good and bad coaches, but but at the outset you think with these little $7 reports that they're going to be enough for you to start making money. And the truth is that often you're going to need a range of skills, and you'd probably need somebody to mentor and guide you through the process. And so my best advice to anybody listening to this who's starting out is to look at investing in a coach. Now, the coaches, a good coach will come at $2,000 to $5,000 typically, in my experience, and that seems a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but it's nowhere near, if you're looking at doing this and you're serious about it and looking at doing this full time, then believe you me, you're going to eventually save a lot of money by having a coach. That's, as I say, I must have spent, well, I can't even think about the figure, to be honest, Saul, in the last 5 years in terms of my training, and a lot of that could have been shortcut if I'd have taken on a coach at the outset.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say, and I know that for myself also, I started online in 2007, and I've had a lot of ups and I've had a lot of downs, and it takes a lot of effort to keep on going. And
Yeah.
as Chris says, there's nothing that's easy in life, and I think that a lot of people, they're looking for the, like a push button software that will make them money, but they don't realize that it takes a lot of work. And Chris, if I could come back to you, I know that you also have a coach, and you're in a coaching program. And, I know that, for myself as well, I've joined a coaching program, and I've also started to become friendly with you guys, and you've been helping me. How important is it to have a support system and people online that can understand what you're going through?
I personally feel that that's super important, and having the support system behind it, especially if you have, as Mark mentioned, a coach, and also other people that are either students or of similar mindset and on a similar journey to you around you. If you have these guys around you and you can basically stay in regular contact with them, basically to bounce ideas off them, to ask questions, to get feedback, it is absolutely superb. And believe it or not, a great method for doing that is exactly what we're doing right now. Although you don't have to record this, you could have a mastermind of up to 10 guys coming on to a call just like this and having a conversation amongst each other via Google Hangouts as well. So to me, they are super, super important, having a mastermind or people, a support network, as you mentioned, around you. If you can get that into a mastermind or into a network where you come on to a call, that's super important.
Yeah, and we were just talking before the call, Saul, about the fact that many of our fellow students are beginning to hit home runs with their products, and the fact is that we help each other, just as we talked to you about helping you to set up your product, and we're finding that if we help each other, and often that can include setting products up, and sort of sorting technical things out, but also helping each other to provide content, and even sort of promoting each other's products as well. And so the whole, if you get into a good coaching group, then the support structure around you, you grow together in a sense. And as I say, so the return on your investment eventually is going to be huge. But as I say, you need to be in the right coaching group.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. And I think that what I found is that online it's a medium for communicating, but it still is real life. Like so many times that you can be on Facebook or you can be on someone's list, and then you have people just come out of the woodwork and say, "Can you promote me?" or "Let's be friends," and then they try and selling you something immediately. And Mark, I'd like to ask you a question, and it's something that I found, but that action speaks louder than words. So I know that you guys I bought your product, yours and Chris's wonderful product called the Hangout Cash Code, and it was at a time where I was actually feeling quite overwhelmed because I've started to spend quite a lot more time on JVZoo and on the Warrior Forum, and I've been looking at a whole lot of different products. But I bought your product and on a Friday a few weeks ago, and then I spent the entire weekend actually going through it, and I completed it. And then in your first membership hangout, I got involved, and I think that so many times people buy the products and then they don't use them and they don't implement them. And for you as a product creator, and I know that you've got this experience, how do you feel when you see a student that's taking action? What does that make you feel?
I mean, that is the reason we create products, is that as teachers, in a sense, you want your students to go and do even better than yourself, because that's the ultimate affirmation and satisfaction from what you're doing. We're here to help our students to make money online, and if they buy the product, okay, we may get a small remuneration for that, but the satisfaction, and obviously we can use the fact that you've taken action and actually earned some money as a sort of testimonial for the product, and really, you know, the whole purpose of the product is to try to get your students to take action and to make money, because you know, one of the things I learned is that however much training you do and investment in training, you would never actually move your business forward or make any money until you do take action. You know, the action is really where you need in your business. I've now got round to the stage where I try to take action during working hours, and my training is in the evening or outside working hours, my prime working hours, because the training itself, unless you implement it as you go along, will not actually yield you a return on investment until you take action.
Right. And Chris, what do you know, what's your feeling on what we're discussing here?
Like Mark mentioned, what we've basically come up with, especially with the Hangout Cash Code, is we're basically just showing anybody that a platform, basically, and it's a free platform that anybody can use. You can leverage this. We're giving you a point of leverage where you can take this and make money with it. And we're very used to using the actual platform ourselves on all sorts of levels, and it was only when we Mark and I got together and we looked at it for our masterminding, and we were looking at it and we were using it for product creation, and then obviously you have the webinars, and you know, just using it as a support desk is such a wonderful platform. And basically we get that excited about it that obviously we wanted to teach other people about how they could use Google Hangouts, because like you said, we've been looking around the forums as well. We're quite experienced online, and we're aware that many people were overlooking Google Hangouts because they're free, and because they were free they don't place a value on it. You know, whereas if you wanted to go and run your own webinars using GoToWebinar, I think their cheapest package runs about $100 a month, and that only allows you, is it up to 20 or something people? It's not very many. It's not a big amount of viewers. And then you look and you think, well, Google Hangouts does this for absolutely free. Plus, I can have as many people as I want in attendee mode. So we thought, well, we need to get this out there. We need to teach our sort of experience and our love for the Google Hangout platform. That's why we packaged up or came up with the Hangout Cash Code.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
I
Mark,
was just wanted to add there that I'd wanted to get into webinars for quite some while, but the barrier to entry was that, you know, as Chris said, that you know, if you buy this software, that you've got that monthly fee, and you know it's going to be charged whether you make any money out of webinars or not, and so there's a barrier to entry there, particularly if you're not confident, because you can't be confident about it until you start doing it. So there was a barrier to entry there in my mind, and so as soon as Google Hangouts came up, it was immediately on my list of things that I wanted to get into and to investigate. And this will lead on perhaps to another question you had, Saul, which was, you know, how did Chris and I actually get together? The way it happened was that I had this on my plan for 2014, and Chris actually contacted me and said, I'm thinking of creating a product called the Hangout Cash Code. Would you want to join me on this? And you know, I leapt at the opportunity because it was already on my business plan to do, and so it was just an ideal opportunity to get into Google Hangouts, you know.
Right. So so you were, am I correct in saying you were already in the same training coaching group, and yes, so you met each other there? Yes. And yes, I mean, I've heard you guys both have said that you actually haven't met each other yet in real life, but you know, you're business partners, and you formed such a incredible connection. And when I heard you say that, you know, that I saw that in an interview with you online, and that got me very excited. You know, my story was actually, I'd also been looking at Google Hangouts about a few weeks before I saw your product. And I realized is that with the GoToWebinar and these platforms, first of all, they're expensive. Second of all, it's limited by the amount of people that can come onto the call with you. But what I love about the Google Hangouts is that you can show who you are as a real person, and you can connect, and you don't need to be the best looking person in the world, and you don't need to be the most eloquent speaker. But I think, as we were saying online, is that people will connect with you for who you are as a person. And the Google Hangouts, from what you guys have shown me, is that you're able to actually come out from behind the screen and to be a real person. How important do you think that is online to be real and to show people who you are?
Can I tell you a story here? When I left banking, Chris has heard this a number of times, so I apologise, Chris, but when I left banking, you know, I was a professional banker, and I left voluntarily, and I really didn't know how I would get on in the real world, particularly, you know, in consulting. You know, my skills were very specialist, but what I did have, I had relationships with customers, and that kick-started my consulting business. And I did a presentation when I first left the bank to my former customers, and I landed a very big contract with one of the customers, and for the first 4 or 5 years of my consulting business, it was basically underpinned by my previous relationships. And how that translates to your question is that I believe that Google Hangouts and the fact that we can make an instant connection by looking at each other, and you know, just as we have with you, Saul, we've only sort of known each other or met each other through Google Hangouts in a relatively short period, but already it feels as if we've known each other for a while, and we're already doing business together, and that is the power of it. Really is the power of it. The instant connection that people will. Your viewing audience will feel as if they know you already, even though I may not know all of them at the moment, but as I say, they'll feel that they know me because they can see me on the screen, and they can make a decision as to whether they feel I'm somebody they would like to know, and whether they feel they can trust me by just through the expressions of my face and the way in which I articulate myself, you know, on the screen. And so I think that I just don't think, I think that is the real power of Google Hangouts, to be honest, and I don't think that you should underestimate that at all. And as you quite rightly say, it's not something that's available through GoToWebinar, and I think that's a major shortfall. You know, before you even get into any of, you know, how well Google Hangouts rank for, you know, on the search engines, and they do rank really well. And again, GoToWebinar cannot offer you that advantage. And the other thing is you get the automatic recording through to YouTube, whereas with GoToWebinar you have to actually render the video. You have to remember actually to press the button to record to start with, and then you know, you have to render the video out, and then you have to upload it. So you know, there is a big process involved in using that other software, where it almost happens automatically on Google Hangouts.
Right, and Chris, you know, I know, as Mark's saying, I think that that there's the wonderful opportunity with Google Hangouts that you're able to connect with people and they're able to see exactly who you are. I heard you guys saying that, you know, someone was asking you in a training call, can you do an animated video on Google Hangouts? But that would almost defeat the purpose because you're trying to show who you are. So Chris, I mean, I know that, you know, there's wonderful opportunities that people will see who you are, and that it can rank, and they're easy to do. But what's your favorite thing about Google Hangouts, Chris? What makes you the most excited about this technology?
Well, firstly, that I can be me. I can be myself on a Hangout. I'm quite willing to step up and put my face on camera and speak to people and let people see me in my office space working. As Mark had said, people get to know it's a real person for a start. It's not a faceless website, which a lot of the older style internet marketing products you didn't know, was it a scam? Is it believable? You didn't really know. And even on the sort of traditional style webinars, generally that's only a PowerPoint presentation and a voice coming over. Whereas with the likes of this Google Hangout, basically our faces are on camera. People can see us and know that we're also, not only that, but I'm in Northern Ireland, Mark's sitting in England, and we're connected to you in Johannesburg, South Africa, and we're basically showing our faces, so anybody that views this can look and think, well, no, these are real people. They're ethical. Most people, if most people that are in business are ethical, you can have the ethical guys, I feel I can trust them, and you very quickly grow what we like to refer to as the know, like, and trust factor, because you're on screen. Anybody that has watched any of our products, they basically see us on Hangout face to face, and we deliver as much value as we can, and they know that they can put a face to the voice as well. You can see us and our emotions as we're talking.
Yeah, wow. The more I go on online, the other thing, so the more that I get used to this online thing, it's actually all about relationships. It really is, and it is offline as well. But you can't create this. Again, I'm going back to my former days. I hated talking to customers on the telephone. I always preferred to be face to face with them, so I could see their expressions, and they could see mine, and that. And this is what this technology is delivering, and we can now, as you talk, across immense distances, globally, really, and form very deep relationships with people. Much deeper relationships than you can ever do on through an email or even on a telephone, actually. So, as I say, I just see that this is the key advantage, is that you can create relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. And 5 years ago, I went through a bad divorce, and my ex-wife, she moved to Cape Town with my kids. She got remarried to a friend of mine, and I went through a tough time. And like what you guys say, I know that Mark, you work from your home, and Chris works from his house, and I work from my house. And oftentimes it gets quite lonely online. People forget that you're sitting in your home. You're often spending many hours behind the computer. And the Google Hangouts actually allows one to mastermind and to put yourself out there. And I like what you said earlier. It's about adding value. So many times, even like online but offline, but if we focus online, is that every single person is dealing with their own issues in life, yeah, whatever they may be, even if they be a very wealthy person. And oftentimes that, we have people that everyone's got their dreams and everyone wants to make money. That's why we online, we do want to make money, but it is about adding value. And if you try to help someone out before you take, it comes across a lot better than trying to take before you can give. And obviously I know, I like exactly what Chris says, is that Google Hangouts and this technology, but I think what has resonated with the three of us, and I'm sure it will be resonating with a lot of people that watch this, is that it allows you to be yourself, and you don't need to pretend to be someone else, because you'll be loved for who you are, and if people like you, they'll resonate to you for who you are. And if you try to pretend to be someone that you're not, people will smell that, and I do a lot of work with hypnosis, and I believe in like the law of attraction and the feelings that you put out. And I've seen it in my list, is that how I am feeling even when I type out an email makes a massive difference to the person, that when they read it, they can pick it up. And it's the same thing like with the Google Hangouts, is that if you are real, people will like who you are. You'll be able to have a lot more retention on your email list. You'll be able to get those emails open, because I think in the old days it was a lot about the size of the emails, but now in 2014 it's much more important to have the quality of the list more than the size of the list. I mean, a buyer's list of 200 people could be much better than a general list of 8,000 people. And the Google Hangouts in particular is such a wonderful way to be able to show who you are. Do you agree with that, Mark?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that resonated with me there is that, sometimes online there's a projection that, you buy this and you're going to be successful, but the fact is that for anybody to be successful in life, they have to go through an awful lot of failure and and heartache and so on. As you rightly say, it's the relationships that you form that can support you through that, because you have to persist until you are successful, and by that I mean you have to fail many times, and I call them tests. You have to test constantly to find what's successful, but you may have 10 failures to find the success. As I say, so any businessman that says they've never failed, quite frankly, they're not credible to me, and I don't think you can form a relationship with people if you're not open about the fact that you have failed along the way, and through that failure and experience you can help others through, and through your experience you can help them through, and they can perhaps avoid some of the pitfalls that you've been through. But is that right? Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. I do agree with that, and even to as I was saying earlier, is that I went through a divorce, and I was, even to get into like a new real relationship, and thank God I've got a really wonderful girlfriend now, is that I had to learn to be honest again, and to be real, and to be vulnerable, and only when I was actually able to do that was I able to form a new real relationship. And exactly what you're saying, it's the same online. I mean, what I find very important, Chris, I'd like to address this to you, is that there are gurus out there, and there have been, a lot of guys have made a lot of money, but you don't need to bow down to anyone. As you were saying earlier, you can just be yourself, and if you're adding value and you're taking action, that's the best that you can do, and good stuff's going to follow your way. Do you agree with that, Chris?
I totally agree with that, and I personally believe that the more value that I or we can deliver, obviously the more people we're going to attract into our lives, and people are going to basically form a deeper connection, especially the way Mark and I have been running things recently. We've been running these hangouts, over and above what people purchased in the product, and we've been running, and it's not just one additional hangout. We've hopefully deepened and cemented our relationship with the guys that actually purchased the Hangout cash code, because we've run event after event after event, and we intend to keep doing this, albeit in a slightly different angle. But what I feel is, by us delivering value like this and delivering our knowledge and helping people, we're going to create deeper relationships with anybody that comes across us online. People are going to feel that we're good guys and they can approach us and ask us questions. And obviously, if we can't answer them, we'll look to answer them. So it should, in my opinion, can only do good things for our business. And it's the power of Google Hangouts that basically enables us to build these relationships and make these deeper connections with people.
Right, and I'm sure also exactly what you're saying is that it's also gratifying for you, and you enjoy it. And when I've came into your product at the beginning, and I've been on every one of your calls, and I can tell, and I'm sure that everyone else on the call can tell, that you and Mark, you genuinely enjoy giving value, and we can feel that, and that's not something that you can fake.
No, absolutely, that's right. When you start out on Hangouts, you do feel a little nervous, and what we found, that the more we do it, the more relaxed you become, and the more real and authentic, you really do let your personality begin to come through. It is a little bit stiff and, as I say, nervous to start with, perhaps, but it's very quickly, the more you do it, the better. Like everything in life, the better it becomes. And we don't pretend to be the best presenters in the world, but I'm sure that with more and more practice as we go on, we're going to improve our presentation skills, and that'll help us to add even more value to the people that are watching us. So
right. Well, and I think I think what I'd like to see, hopefully, with you guys, is that hopefully people in a whole lot of different industries will come across your product, and it should be available to all different niches, because it can really add value from non-profits to churches and doctors and lawyers and everyone. And I think that the more people that find out about your product, the better. And it's we take things for granted. I mean, I'm sitting in Johannesburg and I'm speaking to you guys. You even in the same country, and we get even WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp, or we use Facebook. And my kids, as I said to you, they live in a city in Cape Town that's 2 hours away from me, and I've been able to maintain. I'm only able to see them every 6 or 7 weeks for one weekend, but I use Skype to speak to them. And we take this technology for granted, but we're living in such a miraculous time. I think if I've got a chap who I'm friends with in Johannesburg, and this chap he was into 3D for the last 10 years, and he actually created an incredible hologram, and he's in the 3D Hall of Fame. He was always like quite a very, very out there guy. And I'm just relating that if someone would have said 10 years ago, oh, we'll be able to speak on the internet for free, or you'll be able to be on a Facebook and have these messages, people would have literally, you could have been locked up for that. But we're living in miraculous times. And I think something like Google Hangouts is available, and the more people that find out about it, the better. Because I was today in Johannesburg. I went out to my friend for lunch, and there was a couple there, and this chap, he's got a small restaurant, and he's battling, and I can see that the chap's under so much pressure, and he was telling me how bad the economy is, and he's worried that the tax is high, and he's having a hard time. And I was empathizing with him, and I just felt that if he was exposed to some of this online technology, even a Google Plus, Google Hangouts, he could really improve his life. And I think that the more people that embrace this technology, as you say, it is a little bit scary, but once they use it, it will improve their lives and their families' lives. And for me, I've got maintenance to pay, I've got kids to support, and I'm not playing around. I want to be able to, tomorrow, on Monday will be the first. At least I've got all my stock orders going through, and that's due to the hard work that I've put into the relationships that I've put in. But people can smell if you just there for the money. And the Google Hangouts and all of this is that it's almost like a delayed gratification. So we know that if we put in the work now, it will pay off, but the work has to be done. And if you buy any product and you have it sitting on your hard drive and you haven't gone through it, it's worthless.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the opportunity with Google Hangouts. I mean, we don't mind sharing our information because the opportunity is so huge, Saul. It's inexhaustible, to be honest. And Chris and I are evangelists really for this technology, because we can see just so many opportunities to help other people and other businesses. And I get the feeling that you're beginning to, I think you already are an evangelist as well, because I think you appreciate just how powerful this is. And as I say, it's very frustrating that we can't sort of do more to really get this message across, because this is the reason that Chris and I will continue doing this, because we genuinely believe that this will help businesses to in many ways, but to make sales. For example, to recruit staff, you can do interviews with staff without having to bring them into the office. You can support staff that are off-site. You can run help desks. You can talk to suppliers. And that's important in creating a relationship with a supplier when you're an offline business, because you're working in partnership with your supplier often. One of the reasons I got into internet marketing was, suppliers used to be a real headache. But how I wish I'd had this when I had my offline business, because I was actually getting supplies from Italy, Spain, We even started to outsource to China. But, you know, to get on a plane and go to that country to meet the guys involved was a major expense, and you couldn't afford the time out of the business anyway. So, you know, this is it. You know, I just can't see how an offline business can afford not to have this.
Great. Well, guys, thank you. Now, I really appreciate the time that you've given me, and I know we've only got a few minutes left. And you know, Chris, if I can start with you, and then we'll end off with Mark. For anyone that watches this interview, and I think they're going to be sold on how important this Google Hangout is as a structure. There will be a link where they can purchase this product. But you know, more holistically, if for anyone that's starting out or anyone that's maybe struggling a bit, what would be your advice to someone in that position, Chris?
If they're starting out online, if they're looking at using the Google Hangout platform, remember that you can be yourself and always be yourself. Be authentic at all times. Your personality and you as a person will shine through. People will, at the end of the day, some people may not align themselves with you, but you will attract into your life the people that do. You'll also find that the Hangout platform allows you to convey a message with feeling as well. So if you feel strongly about something and you're then on a Hangout with your peers or your mastermind or even customers or whatever, and you honestly believe in something, that should shine through. So not only do you get the platform, the platform that we're using to connect, but you also sort of can get, you try and convey your emotions down the line as well. And to me, that's super, super important in business. As everybody knows, basically business, anything in business is all down to relationships and how you grow and nurture your relationships. And if you're willing to use a Google Hangouts platform for these relationships, it can only but help them.
And Mark, your final words about what we've been discussing today?
I want to give the simplest formula for success. I know that sounds really hypey, but I think that the way that you can succeed online now is simply as you buy products and you're using products and you like stuff, just share it through a Google Hangout and then link with your affiliate link to that product, so that but through sharing it and sharing your progress and so on in your own business, you'll help other people to grow, and they will, and obviously you can then be rewarded through commission, and then you'll eventually be creating your own products, and again you'll share that through Google Hangouts. To me, that would be an incredible way to start online, much, much better than when I started 5 years ago. Just share what you like. Just share what you genuinely like. I don't want any of this hype and so on. Show me how you're using that product in your business, perhaps through screen share, and what it's doing for your business. Be genuine, and that's the way to build a business.
Great. Well, guys, thanks so much, Mark, and thanks so much, Chris. I really have been really enjoyed the conversation. I found it very uplifting. As I say, your product, the Hangout Cash Code, is phenomenal. There's no other product like it on the market. And yes, I encourage anyone that sees this interview to please just go out and purchase this product. I learned all about Hangouts from Chris and Mark. These are wonderful chaps. When you purchase the product, you'll get a full in-depth education about Google Hangouts, how to use this technology. It comes with videos, and there's a wonderful book, step-by-step pictures, so it will show you exactly the way. Doesn't matter your experience, you'll be able to pick it up very quickly. They've also got a wonderful, wonderful members area that will have recordings of the previous calls that they've done. These guys add a lot of value. They're going places. They're going to be around for a long time. I know that they've got a lot of great, wonderful stuff down the line. And if you're on their list, you're not going to be bombarded with different crazy offers. They're going to look after you. So as I say, this is the Google the Hangout Cash Code is something that you definitely want to buy. And when you buy it, implement it, use it, get to know it, cut your teeth on it, and it'll be worth it. It will be life changing. And yes, as I you know that I said that bought it, I implemented, and it literally has changed my life. And it's a commitment that you make in yourself, and it's going to pay off for forever, for many, many years to come. If you think, how busy are you actually that you don't have time to implement something like this? How many hours do you maybe spend watching television? And this is an education, and it's worth much more than even a university education in today's day and age. So thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate your time, and I just encourage anyone that listens to this to please take action. All three of us want the best for you, and keep us up to date with your success online. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Saul. Thank you.
Thank you.